If you've followed me for a while, you know that I absolutely love infrared saunas, right? But what if you don't have an infrared sauna available to you? Or what if there's no room in your apartment for a sauna? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. Infrared sauna mat. So you can just come home and while you're watching Netflix, you can just turn it on and have access to an infrared sauna right in the comfort of your own home. I use mine all year long, but it is especially cozy in these winter months that are coming up. So if you're interested in finding out more and getting a little discount with your infrared sauna mat, I mean, what better gift do you want to give yourself with the little detoxification that you can do every night if you want? Check out the link below to learn more. Welcome to the Sacred Medicine Podcast. My name is Margaret Romero. I'm a Columbia-trained functional medicine nurse practitioner, and here I uncover the truth behind chronic illness so that you can finally heal. I'm a women's health and hormone expert and love empowering women to finally live their life fully and powerfully through optimal health. This is the Sacred Medicine Podcast. All right, welcome back. It is February 2022. I kind of took a little bit of a break in January because I've just been sort of upgrading my business, automating things, which has taken some time, which I'm still working on. So wanted to just focus on that. But here we are. It is February 2022. Happy New Year. And I'm excited for this year. I have so many amazing guests coming on the show this year. So I'm really excited about that. So if you are joining me for the first time, I am Margaret Romero. I am the host of the Sacred Medicine Podcast. Welcome and welcome back to all of you again. Today we have an amazing guest. It is Dr. Nayan Patel. He is a sought-after pharmacist, wellness expert, and thought leader in his industry. And today we are talking all about glutathione. Glutathione is one of my most favorite supplements. And today we're talking all about that. He wrote a book called The Glutathione Revolution: Fight Disease, Slow Aging, and Increase Energy. I mean, like, who doesn't want that, right? So today we are going to be talking all about that. Why do you need glutathione? What is the best form of glutathione? That is such a common question. I get this so much. There's tablets, there's drops, there's the IV. So we're going to be talking about something completely different and totally innovative today. I am so excited for this because I have tried this form of glutathione. It is amazing, y'all. It is truly, truly amazing. So we also talk about a couple of other things of why glutathione is superior, when you would use it, and why you really need it. Like, why does the body need it? First of all, it is one of the major antioxidants, but there are some particular instances where it is really needed and why people have really low levels. And there are things, you're not going to believe it, that actually lower your glutathione levels. So you got to listen in and on to the show. All right, we are back for another week of the Sacred Medicine Podcast, and we have a new guest today, Nayan Patel, and he just came out with an amazing book all about glutathione, which, let me just tell you, it is one of the favorite and most requested supplements of all of my patients. Almost all of them are on glutathione for one reason or another. So today we're going to be talking all about it and why it's so important. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you just share, in case people don't know what glutathione is, can you explain what it is?
Absolutely. Let me start off with who I am so people understand first where I came from so that way they understand why I'm writing about glutathione in the first place.
Yes, please.
So I did my doctorate in pharmacy over in Southern California in 1996. Been practicing pharmacy since 96 for 25 years plus. My passion has been designing drugs or medications that doesn't require prescriptions, and how do we make products that are effective as a medicine without requiring a prescriptions. And over the years, I've done lots of research, being a compounding pharmacist. I'm still a compounding pharmacist as of today, but my passion always driven towards different molecules. And glutathione has been one of the most sacred molecules that I've worked on over the last 25 years. And after I saw the power of glutathione, as you said, the Glutathione Revolution has started. I wrote the book because there was so much information to share, and I want to make sure that everybody gets the knowledge, they're equipped with the knowledge that they need to better themselves.
Yes.
And the book was written to help my family members because I cannot go to any parties without being bombarded with these questions. I said, you know what? I'm just going to write a book and just tell everybody, get this book. You get everything you need to know. So that way they don't have to ask me those questions while I'm at a party. So anyway, so that's a long story short.
Amazing.
But
Amazing.
The reason glutathione is so important because next to water, glutathione is the most abundant molecule in our body. Mm. And it is very critical about having the glutathione levels in your body is because your body needs to produce that internally. The body will take 3 amino acids, glutamine, glycine, and cysteine, will combine them with 2 enzymes and a catalyst like selenium from the nature, and then it will combine all those 3 in a particular sequence to make one molecule of glutathione. And it's not an easy process. Your body does it every single day of your life. It's not an easy process, but then it produces that to basically counteract all the reoxidative species that are happening every single day in our body. We have 3,000 chemical reactions happen every single day in our body. And one of the byproducts of this chemical reaction is what? It's an oxidative species that needs to be quenched or released from your body. Glutathione does that job to quench all the free radicals and get them out of your body. And what happens is that it's well and good. It's all good to have those things, but as you start aging, the need of glutathione starts increasing, and the body cannot keep up with the production. And when that happens, we have sort of an imbalance between the need and how much we can produce, end up leading to a lot of different conditions that we can avoid in the future.
So how does one get so depleted? So aging happens to all of us. Yep. And there are other reasons why it gets depleted as well. Chronic illness, I think, is one of them.
Yes. Again, we're not sure if the illness was caused the depletion or the depletion caused the illness, right? Because it could be either way as well. So again, going back to glutathione, it's a protein, right? It's a 3 amino acid protein.
Right.
It's one of the most abundant protein produced by humans. And what happens is that those protein molecules are used to detoxify our body. Above and beyond what we produce of our own oxidative species through chemical reactions, we also are exposed to sun and chemicals and heavy metals on a daily basis. And we drink solvent knowingly that it's bad for you, which is alcohol. And I'm guilty of that too myself. And all those chemicals, your body has to process to get rid of it. And what happens is that if your body doesn't have the capacity to produce enough glutathione to get rid of it, now those toxins starts getting accumulating. When they start getting accumulating, our body has to respond to it, and we call that immune response. And what happens is the immune response gets so hyperactive at one time that now we cannot control that immune response, and hence the onset of autoimmune conditions, so to speak, which I'm not sure if it's caused by the glutathione deficiency or that there's some other reasons we got autoimmune conditions, and now it depletes all the glutathione because glutathione is necessary to fight those conditions in the first place. So I'm not sure if it's that it was caused due to deficiency or because you got autoimmune and now you lower glutathione. Either way, you lower glutathione in both conditions.
Got it. Okay. So either way, I mean, when should people start supplementing with glutathione? I mean, the body's making it. Do you feel like everyone should be, glutathione should be a supplement of choice?
I mean, yes and no. I would suggest that there's always things you can do to literally avoid getting into trouble. So, I mean, you cannot avoid sunlight. It's impossible. You can't stay in dark all night.
Right.
But you can avoid exposure to toxic chemicals. You can avoid ingesting chemicals that you know they are toxic to your body. I mean, the best one is legal alcohol. I mean, it's the alcohol hits the liver and the body. The glutathione is there to detoxify the alcohol, so you don't get the toxicities because of alcohol reasons. Anyways. So things you can avoid as much as possible. That's one way. Second thing is that there are lots of fruits and vegetables and proteins that you can eat that can help give the three amino acids, the glutamine, the glycine, the cysteine, to help your body produce its own glutathione. So that's a second way of doing it as well. And so if you do those two things, you're more than able to prolong the need of glutathione until the later age, maybe like 30, 35, right? After about that age, you're going to need some sort of supplementation because we'd like it or not, we are not going to be clean the whole time. We are not going to be perfect every single day of our life. And so over time, our needs have slowly increased and the production is not able to keep up. And when that happens, and I would say about 35-ish, 30, 35 is when it starts having the difference. Yes. That's when I would suggest that supplementation is necessary. And supplementation is arbitrary, but if you see a condition that requires detoxification pathways to be activated, even at the age of 25, you may need it. So it all depends, but your body will be able to make its own until about that time. And after that, you need to supplement what your body cannot produce.
So what if there's someone, a large majority of the population is pretty unhealthy, from fast foods to soda, a couple of times a day, alcohol, wine at night, even environmentally, the air we breathe is not good, especially if you don't have like an air purifier. And so and I think teenagers too,
yes,
probably consuming the worst things, from binge drinking to fast foods all the time. So, and they're young, what do you think that even despite their age, that because of their diet, that actually already throws them into really needing the glutathione? Or do you think at that age that they have enough and that they're okay?
So that's a very good question because you would assume that young people have the ability to have full body reactions internally. They should be functioning at the optimum speed. And so on and so forth. So the needs are not going to be there. But you'll be shocked, as you said, that if people binge drink or regular drinking of alcohol will increase the need of glutathione on an ongoing basis. On top of that, they don't eat the right types of fruits and vegetables that are necessary to produce the glutathione, and all of a sudden, the needs have increased. Production has decreased. I'm not an economist by all means, but I can say when the supply is less and the demand is high, we got a problem over there sometimes.
Exactly.
And so if we can do both, reduce the demand, increase the supply, I mean, it's not that hard to get back to normal when you're young. But the same phenomenon doesn't work when you're 30, 35. Because even though you would eat all the fruits and vegetables and everything is correct and everything is going fine, you still are not, your body's still not the same it used to be when you're 20, right?
Sure.
And we always think about it, hey, 35 is still, I'm still in my teenage years when you're still 35, because now the next over the hill range is 50 or 60. I'm getting 50, so I think it's a 60 now because I'm not over the hill yet. And so everybody has different mentality and where they think the body should be function at an optimum speed or act optimally. But what I need to say is that yes, you can still maintain that optimum health, but you got to listen to your body. The reactions are not stopping. Your exposure over time is not decreasing, and
Sure.
it's the continuous exposure every single day. What did they say? That by the time you leave your house in the morning, you're exposed to 17 different chemicals, from
Crazy.
toothpaste to shampoos to, I mean, you just name it.
Exactly.
And so you expose so many different chemicals that your body has to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Your liver is the only organs in your body that helps you detoxify metabolically. Of course, it's not physically. Physically, it's your intestines and your lower, the larger and small intestines get rid of all the materials in your kidneys. But chemically, the metabolites are processed through the liver, and the liver is working harder and harder as we age, right?
Right.
And the liver is very, very good that it will regenerate really fast. It's one of the fastest regenerating organ we have in our body, and
Yes.
thankfully so. But it needs help. It does need help, and glutathione is the number one protein that it produces to do its work for it.
Amazing. So you do have in your book a list of the foods that have the highest concentration of glutathione: avocados, strawberries. I mean, you're right. It's all fruits, peaches, oranges, papaya. And so typically at that, when you're a teenager, you may not necessarily be consuming these types of foods. So it may be something, that could, imagine if a teen who wouldn't necessarily be eating these types of foods, if we could put them on some form of supplementation of glutathione, then it could potentially prevent, health conditions, in their 30s, late 30s, and their 40s and beyond.
True. We can probably do that, but I would still strongly suggest, I use the word strongly is because if I don't say that, people don't understand that part. Suggest to do other alternate method than supplementation of glutathione, especially to see how your body, because the body at this age, at very young age, it's able to do all these processes without any problems. Sure. And the body's the capacity of producing all these amino acids and getting those. So the least amount of amino acids that is consumed by humans is cysteine, and so if you eat cysteine-rich foods, your body will be able to produce glutathione all day long. So the best one is like whey protein. Whey protein has a cysteine-rich foods in there, and that should be able to produce the glutathione that you need on an ongoing basis. But if they start drinking prematurely, right? Even though it says 21 years the age to start drinking, I would prefer to be 35 if possible, because after 35, everything is going down and say, hey, might as well start drinking at that point. I'm okay with that part. But until 35, your body still function at full capacity. And I would prefer to not waste my resources. It's in my body, because those resources are limited, and we do not want to waste it. And keep in mind, when the body is producing glutathione, it's not producing something else. And if there's enough glutathione, it can do something else. And so it's we all know we cannot be multitasking, right? So does the human body. We cannot multitask. If we're doing one thing, we can't be doing something else at the same time.
Right.
So we got to give them a chance.
Yes. So going back to the supplementation, I know there's various types out there. There's tablets, there's liposomal, the liquid, and also I'd love to know also a little bit about what you have created, but tell us the differences between all of them.
Absolutely. So there are three categories. One is oral supplementation like capsules and liposomes and all those oral supplementations of glutathione. The second one is through compounding pharmacies. They make the intravenous form of glutathione. In the other parts of the world, isn't approved as a medicine. And the third one is what we created, the topical form of glutathione. And of course, our intention was not to create topical form of glutathione because in the United States, topical form of any medication is considered, well, that's not a medicine, right? That's just some lotion and cream for your skin. And so when
really is that right? Because I thought that there were some androgen gels that were topical that were prescription.
Of course, the all prescriptions items are all approved as a medicine, yes.
But when you're saying that because yours isn't actually prescribable, that
it's over the counter stuff, and it's pretty inert by nature, and so it's nobody thinks along those lines. So our goal is not to create a topical form, anyways. But here's the thing: when you take a protein by mouth, what happens to it? Right? Think about it. If you eat proteins, if you eat a piece of chicken or a turkey or whatever, your body's going to break down the proteins to various amino acids. That's what enzymes do. It's in your stomach, it's in your intestines. It chops down all the proteins into various amino acids, and then your body will take those amino acids and make something out of it, whatever proteins it needs, right? So that's what it does. So when you take glutathione is a protein. It's a 3-chain amino acid protein. So when you take a protein by mouth, what is the body going to do? Chop it down. Chop it down to a percentage where the very little is remaining in the body to get absorbed. And even though it gets absorbed a little bit, it's not quite enough for your body to sustain on it. And so the biggest concern has always been to say, can I take enough glutathione by mouth? And that way I don't, even if it gets a little bit absorbed, the rest is okay. But that's not true either, because guess what? The byproducts of glutathione is what? Glutamine, glycine, and cysteine. Okay, fine. But there's also something as glutamine toxicity if you take too much of glutamine. So glutamine is not good for you if you take abundance of it either. So you cannot take a whopping dose of glutathione, have the body use up a little bit of it, and the rest becomes a byproduct. You can't do that.
Right.
So that is the biggest drawback to how much we can take orally. Intravenously, it's not approved by FDA, but there are pharmacies and that makes it in the United States. I was one of the pharmacies I was making for years.
Sure.
Until we discovered this thing. And so that goes straight into your bloodstream, and there has to be a medical procedure that they go to the doctor's office and do that part. Right. But keep in mind, all this glutathione molecule is large. It's a protein, it's a large molecule. It can get in your blood, but it only ends up in your plasma. Your blood is part of red blood cells, and the other part is the plasma.
Right.
The water part of your blood is where the glutathione is. The goal is to get intracellularly inside the red blood cells. That is the key. So when we discovered the stabilized form of glutathione and delivered through the skin, we were able to measure the blood levels of glutathione, particularly the erythrocytes or the red blood cells of levels of glutathione for the very first time. So to me, that is more beneficial to increase those levels than just getting into your body somehow else. So that is the difference of the three types of glutathione, and we think by far the superior form is the one that we have created, which is patented process of not just stabilizing glutathione, but also delivering through your skin for the first time. Hence the Glutathione Revolution, because when I started using with all my doctors all over the United States and across the world, we have some great results that we saw in our patients' treatment options, which helped us to say that, hey, those glutathione levels, if it increased correctly at the right amount, can help your patients correctly.
So even liposomal glutathione compared to, because I know glutathione also comes in regular capsules, even though liposomal is that better than like just the plain oral capsules?
Yes, it is. It is a little better than oral capsule because liposomes, the way liposomes works is that they take a glutathione molecule and they put layers of this phospholipids around it. But to create a true liposomes, it's not that easy because I used to make liposomes too of various products. And to create each and every molecule and put layers over it is not that easy to do it because it has to use machines and systems to reduce the particle size as you go. So most of the manufacturing process of making liposomes is not a true liposomes. It's called an emulsion. They take the glutathione, they take the phospholipids, mix it together and shake it up really, well, not by hand, of course, but they shake it up and they give you that one. It's still better than taking oral capsules by itself, by all means. It's still better than that.
Yes.
And until we had discovered this product, this was probably the second best choice next to IVs. But now that we have a topical version of the glutathione that gets into your body so fast and increases your levels, now we don't have to worry about raising glutathione levels. So, and you as a practitioner, you can literally give somebody the medication in your office, an hour later, draw the blood in your office and measure the level. And you can see the before and after level, like this big difference.
Wow.
Immediately.
It's pretty fast. Great.
Yeah.
And so is there ever a time when someone should not be taking glutathione? Is there ever an instance?
So, there are a few instances that I can think of that I should not, knowing what the glutathione does. Glutathione is a powerful antioxidant. One of the effects of glutathione is that it can give away the sulfur molecule, which smells, has the sulfur odor.
Yes.
The odor goes away. That means, guess what? The sulfur has been given and accept electrons in place of it and becomes denatured, right? So electron transfer can happen. So it's a very powerful antioxidant agent.
Yes.
So if you're taking medicine as a pro-oxidant to kill some of your cells in your body, then you cannot take an antioxidant to it because it will counteract. For example, all chemo medication is a pro-oxidants, all of them. They're not specifically for just cancer cells. They kill all kinds of cells, and so that's unfortunate. But if you give a powerful antioxidant treatment with it, it will nullify the effect of the chemo drug. And so that's one of the incidents that I can think of that I would probably work with an oncologist to see how we can use the glutathione as an off cycle, not concurrently, but hey, once the chemo is done, tell me how long it will stay in the body, and can I use the antioxidant after that to nullify all the negative effects of chemo,
right?
Not the positive, of course. And so it's one of those things that we have to work with some oncologists. But again, it's very most oncologists would say no, and I agree with them too, because at the end of the day, they have a specific job to do, is to get rid of the cancer cells, and anything that is going to even remotely close to stopping from the medication being effective, they're going to say no.
Right, exactly. So with your product, with the topical, you had mentioned that there was, people can put it on, did you say shingles?
We have used, keep in mind, whenever viral infections, any virus infections you have, doesn't matter what the virus is, your glutathione level drops. There was a recent study done in, and of course, there's so much studies done on COVID today, right? There's so much things out there. There's a study done in Russia that they looked at all these patients that had COVID, they measured the glutathione levels, and it was non-existent. I'm not saying that glutathione is going to help with COVID. By all means, please don't quote me on that one. But it just tells you that any viral infections you have, it will deplete the glutathione levels. Yeah. And so for shingles and influenzas, over the years, we have supplemented to the patients with the glutathione. And the episodes, if instead of happening every year, is happening every 2 or 3 or 4 years down the road. So it has prolonged the recurrent episodes of these infections that they were having we had patients that were having shingles like every 6 months, every 4 months sometimes, and that becomes very devastating. And so
Yes.
just replacing the glutathione and giving the chance to recuperate, we were able to prolong this to once every couple of years instead of once every 3 to 4 months. And
Amazing.
so that is possible, yes.
Are there any side effects to the topical? Anything that people feel after they've taken it for a little while?
Yes, and like thing is, the glutathione, if you think about it, according to FDA, they have been assigned a GRAS status, which is generally regarded as safe if you consume orally, right? When you consume orally, they give it a GRAS status. This particular product is a topical version, so it doesn't have a GRAS status, but in the theory, it talks about that. Hey, glutathione is a safer molecule to begin with. In fact, all the ingredients inside this topical version of the glutathione, which is glutaril, has a GRAS status, including the ascorbic acids, the dextrins, and the water, of course. And so they all have GRAS status, but that doesn't mean that the FDA has evaluated this product as safe to use in all conditions. So in my professional use of this product, we have seen one side effects. It happens, and it's usually at the site of application because it's topical, so you make it a rash at the application site, and it's usually just goes away if you stop it right away. And then if it comes back again, then you can reduce the dose down. Sometimes it's too strong for people because it depends on how depleted they are, and if you haven't drank water for 5 days in a row, of course, you may not survive. But let's say if you haven't drank water for a few days in a row, and then somebody gives you a glass of water, I mean, you can just go chug it down, and you're going to have effects coming into your body. Even though water is so safe, you're still going to have effects coming from drinking water so fast. When you take glutathione for the first time that your body's been depleted for so long, you may get a reaction in your body that, hey, this is too good to be true. Let me start getting rid of all the toxins, right? And you start trying to do that, it's too much to release at one point and make a rash. I'm not sure where the rash is coming from. It doesn't happen to everybody. It happens to a very small amount of people. But if it does happen, it just goes away as soon as you stop it right away, which is single application, right? It just goes away.
So it'll go away if you stop using it. But what if you, let's say, because it's with pumps, right? Like you're pumping, right? Okay, so let's say there was 6 pumps, and the next time you just want to do like 1 or 2. Will the rash still come back? If there is the rash due to an allergic reaction, or is it more of a detoxification sign?
So all the patients that we have treated over the last 11 years, and all the doctors we've worked with, literally hundreds of thousands of patients, and 0 allergic reaction as of today.
Amazing.
Not even one. And so the rash is something that we think is contact dermatitis, could be something else. I'm not sure yet, but it happens at the application site. So people rotate the sites, sometimes, or sometimes they just reduce the amount of sprays they use, and then slowly increase it back to normal once they feel fine again. And so it's everybody's different.
Sure. And where do you apply this on the body? Where there's more fat, where there's muscle?
No, it doesn't use. That's the beauty of the glutathione molecule. If you see the product, it's water-based product, and so it doesn't go through the regular. Your skin is all lipids, all cholesterol, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you take a cream, it slowly diffuses through the layers of your skin into your body. Mm-hmm. The glutathione doesn't uses the lipid membranes; it uses the water channels inside your skin.
Oh, interesting.
To send the medications through. So, yeah, it doesn't require to be a fatty area at all.
Got it. Okay, cool.
So you can apply anywhere. You can apply in your face, and you can apply it. I apply on my stomach every single day because it's just easier. Because even though the smell doesn't bother me that much, psychologically it still bothers me a little bit. So I just apply it on my tummy. It has to be a non-hairy area of your body because the base, the dextrins, the base that we use to deliver the glutathione, it's very sticky. So if you apply on your hand where there's a lot of hair there, the hair will get stuck to your skin. It's just uncomfortable. Okay. As soon as you put the water on it and just wash it off, it goes away immediately. But while it's there, it is uncomfortable. And so most of my patients don't like to be uncomfortable while they're taking this product.
Sure.
Tell them, hey, like myself, I will have my stomach shaved off, say, and then I use the product on my belly. And so it's just easier away from my nose. So it's easier that I put my stuff in and it's done.
So, and does it remain sticky throughout the day?
It can, especially if you press prior. But like I said earlier, right, you can literally measure levels in 1 hour. Guess what? In 1 hour, you can wash off that area.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to keep it on. You don't have to keep it on. I usually do it in the morning as soon as I wake up first thing, and then before I go to take my shower, just usually about 45 minutes to an hour later, I'm all done, and then I take my shower. I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's really good to know. That's really good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. One of the things I wanted to mention was, about Tylenol.
Yes.
It seems like so many people just take it for a little headache, for arthritis, a lot, just as much as Advil. But tell us why Tylenol is pretty bad for glutathione levels in our body.
So let me track back with one more question you asked earlier about different forms of glutathione that are available. Yes. One of the form is called N-acetylcysteine, NAC in short. Right. Cysteine is one of the amino acids that your body needs to produce glutathione. N-acetylcysteine is an FDA-approved product for Tylenol Toxicity. Okay, so Tylenol is one of the most toxic products for your liver. When you consume Tylenols, the liver has to break down the acetaminophen, which is the chemical name of Tylenol, breaks down acetaminophen into toxic metabolites. Those toxic metabolites are literally toxic, right? It's like when I went to pharmacy school, the people we were talking about say, hey, if you consume like 50 tranquilizers, or benzodiazepines like Valium and things like that, you probably wake up the next morning a little groggy, but you'll probably wake up. But if you consume 50 Tylenols, you probably are not going to wake up because it's toxic to your liver and you may go into liver failure, right? So Tylenol toxicity is a real issue, and people consume like it's candies. Opiate crisis, a lot of the opiates have combined Tylenol, so they can overdose on the opiate as well. So Tylenol toxicity is absolutely a problem, is a epidemic in the United States and other parts of the world. And what it does is glutathione actually helps metabolize the Tylenol metabolites to get them inactive and get them out of the body on an ongoing basis. So if you don't have enough glutathione, the more Tylenol you consume, it depletes the glutathione. If you don't have the capacity to produce more glutathione, you can have a problem. So supplementation becomes absolutely critical when you're taking Tylenol supplementation for your headache or anything else.
I mean, there's elderly people who take it. There's Tylenol arthritis, which is it's a heftier dose.
Yes.
And so who knows how many times a day I think it's touted like every 4 hours, which I think is a lot. And when you're elderly and you're taking this for arthritis, I can imagine your glutathione levels at that age, hardly any, know?
Yeah, it's absolutely right. And after the age of 20, your levels of glutathione starts decreasing every 10 years. It starts decreasing anyways. By the time you're 60 or 70, I mean, it's hard to measure how much glutathione you're going to have in your body. And the best way to measure is in your red blood cells, the erythrocytes levels of glutathione. That's the one you want to measure. In the plasma, if you take glutathione and it ends up in your plasma, it only stays for like 10 minutes or 30 minutes. So just put in your favorite search engines. What is the half-life of IV glutathione, intravenous glutathione, right? Yeah, it goes straight in your bloodstream, but guess what? It only stays there for 10 minutes to 30 minutes. Half an hour later, it's all gone.
Well, is it then being utilized?
It's either utilized or it's gone from your body because it doesn't stay that long in your system.
So you're just peeing it out.
You're just peeing it out. It just absolutely is out of your system. Versus a topical version of the glutathione, we are measuring for at 1 hour is the peak plasma levels, right? And it stays in your body for about 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
So now all of a sudden now, instead of having a 30-minute coverage, and I don't care how much you take, right? If I tell you that, hey, you need to drink 12 glasses of water per day, but you drink all 12 glasses in the first thing in the morning, in literally 1 hour, you're going to pee it out.
Right.
Right? What happens the rest of the day? You're still going to need water. You're still going to need some water because, hey, just because you drank 12 glasses in one short amount of time, or better yet, how about drinking like 72 glasses of water in one day and nothing for the rest of the week? It doesn't work that way. You got to take in small amounts the time based on how much your body can use up, right? So if your body, if you're doing glutathione, it only stays in the body for, let's say, 30 minutes. You only give them enough that they can last them for 30 minutes. After that, you give them another after 30 minutes again. So if my glutathione can stay in your body for up to 4 hours, then I had to figure out how much do you need for 4 hours. And then if you need around the clock coverage, which I don't know why you would need that, but if you do need that around the clock coverage, then take every 4 hours. You can take a dose every 4 hours.
So is that what you're recommending for your topical?
No, I don't recommend every 4 hours unless, I mean, I do work with physicians, and if the physicians calls me up, hey, this person needs an around the clock coverage for, it's usually short time, like 2 to 5 days, then I'll put them on every 4 hours treatment. But other than that, most of the customers, they use it twice a day, because keep in mind, glutathione, I did not share with you, but the glutathione is the only protein that your body will recycle. It's the only antioxidant that your body will recycle. If you take vitamin C, it doesn't recycle vitamin C. You just pee it out whatever is excess.
Right.
But your body, the glutathione, it recycles itself. So what happens is the glutathione molecule, when it gets oxidized, it becomes oxidized glutathione. And when you take vitamin C and vitamin E and other antioxidants from your fruits and vegetables, guess what? This glutathione becomes glutathione again. The oxidized is going to become glutathione again. And so it recycles itself. So if you use it twice a day, every single day, over time, your level will start rising and will stay at high levels all the time.
Yes.
And that's the goal. That is the goal.
That's the goal. And so do you believe that taking it at night is better? Like that should be one of the times? Does it matter when you take it, especially if the liver is sort of detoxifying at like between 3 and 4 a.m.?
So I usually tell my patients to do it twice a day, morning and evening, right? Now, sometimes glutathione can give a burst of energy, right?
It can.
Yes, it can. So if it does that part, then I tell them that, hey, take it before dinner, because I don't want you to be trying to fall asleep and he's having a burst of energy. And I have one of the physicians that I work with very closely, and he keeps on telling me, I said, Nayan, this thing gives me so much energy. I said, well, and I can't fall asleep. I said, he started using everything at 5 p.m, the last dose, and the first thing in the morning as soon as he wakes up. I said, he does it twice a day. It says my whole day goes up so nicely now, because I just have a lot of, and the energy, it's not it's not the adrenaline that's kicking in. It's not that flight or fight energy. It's a mitochondrial energy, which is internal energy. It's way different. It is way different.
Yes, completely different. Right. Your heart's not racing.
Nope.
Or you're not feeling the jitters or anything like that.
Nothing like that. Exactly.
More of a cellular energy.
That's it. That's the goal.
Amazing. Well, this has been what a great conversation. And I think it's so necessary for people to know, what is glutathione, why we all need this. I mean, almost all ages. I mean, starting from 30s at least, should start considering, especially if someone is taking Tylenol on a regular basis. Tylenol PM, people take it to go to sleep. It's crazy.
That's true. My son has headaches, and so he will take Tylenols once in a while for his headache. And as soon as it takes that, he has to apply the glutathione at the same time.
Okay.
He knows that part now. He knows it. Yeah. And he's only 16 years of age at this time. And so if he gets a headache, he takes Tylenol, he has to use a glutathione immediately together. And he has learned the behavior. So I don't want him to be ever suffering from from Tylenol
Of course.
Toxicity. Yeah, I may
Yeah.
not be here for too long, but he has a long life ahead of us. So we got to train the kids from the get go how to protect the body for longevity.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Well, why don't you tell us where people can find you and your book?
Oh wow! Thank you again. Thank you for having me over here. What we discussed today was just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, it took me 2.5 years to write this book, The Glutathione Revolution. You can buy it at all your famous bookstores online. We have it on my website, which is at aurowellness.com, AURO wellness.com. And that is on that we only have two products that we recommend, which is both a glutathione. One is a regular, one is a plus. The plus has been used by a lot of physicians for helping the patients increase the level faster. So we have that one as well. And we normally work with physicians. So when they buy the products online, we always recommend them to write the doctors they're working with. So if they're working with you, I want the patients, your viewers, your patients, to write your name as the person that is referring this product to me, so that we can keep a track on all these patients. If something happens to them, we have a doctor that can refer to them immediately.
Got it.
So that's
Amazing.
one thing.
What does the plus? What does the plus have in addition to the regular?
It's just a stronger version of glutathione.
Stronger.
Yeah, okay. I have a regular version of glutathione, then I have a stronger version of glutathione, and I have another one which is another stronger version of the strongest version of that too. But again, just because I have a stronger version, there's not a whole lot of need for it as of yet. There are a couple of things that I've identified the needs for them yet, and so I haven't released this product yet until I can figure out what is the specific use is going to be. The strongest version of glutathione is actually is approved as a drug in China. So we are already making this product in China available as a medicine at this time, the strongest version. But again, they're using it for one particular need inside the hospital, and that's it. And I haven't figured those needs out over here in the United States as of yet. So we have the regular version is probably 95% of the people are on it because that's a maintenance product. The plus is something they use to jumpstart, and then they switch to the regular versions within 3 months, and then they're fine.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's your website. I'll have this all in the show notes. Any other places where you like to hang out, on Instagram or Facebook?
Yes, I am on Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I think I'm on Instagram, but as I said, it's like you just say.
You can send me the links, and then I'll put it all into the show notes.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm LinkedIn more because I work with a lot of professionals all the time. So I'm on LinkedIn more. I have a lot of CEOs, my clients, a lot of C-suite executives as my clients. So I'm always on LinkedIn trying to get everybody better. So that's always my goal. But yes, I'll send you all the links so you have them on my Facebook, on my link, on my Instagrams. But yeah, if you have any questions, anything else like that, you can reach out to me through my website, and it'll come straight to me. So the info email goes to the person in charge, and it forwards directly to me immediately. So
okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much. This has been so helpful, and I think it's something that should be included in everyone's supplementation daily.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I appreciate me having you on your podcast. And I hope that all your patients feel better since they're in good care of yours.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, if you don't want to run out right now and pick up some glutathione, that interview was gold. I mean, how to apply the glutathione in certain situations is like it's like nothing I've ever heard of before. And so I love this form. I've been actually on it for a couple of months at least. I love it. I love glutathione. I mean, I was someone that would go get IV glutathione, but sometimes that's just not available. And it's certainly not available to me. You know, I can drive somewhere to get it, but you know what? This works just as good. So to learn more about the product, as well as more about Dr. Patel, head on over to the show notes, margaretromero.com/episode 205. And if you have any questions, reach out, and I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for listening wherever you are in the world. I hope you are safe and you are healthy and you are happy. Talk to you all next week. Bye for now. If you have been inspired and have learned so much from these interviews, I would love for you to head on over to iTunes, leave a review, and subscribe to the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.